Namaste and welcome. For decades, the world has become increasingly interconnected, with goods, services, and capital flowing freely across borders. But now, economic nationalism is rising, and countries are prioritizing domestic industries, imposing tariffs, and challenging the foundations of globalization. Political tensions and conflicts are accelerating this shift. This is deglobalization, and it's reshaping global commerce. The old certainties of global supply chains are gone, and companies must now navigate a world where the map of trade is being redrawn. In this series, we'll explore how deglobalization is transforming supply chains and what it means for businesses everywhere. Deglobalization is most visible in the changing patterns of global trade. Over the past few decades, the world witnessed an unprecedented level of interconnectedness, with goods, services, and capital flowing freely across borders. But now, this era of seamless globalization is being redefined. The global landscape is shifting as countries reconsider their dependencies and vulnerabilities, especially in the wake of recent disruptions like the pandemic and geopolitical tensions. Regional trade blocs are rising, and countries are strengthening ties with trusted partners, moving away from the multilateral system that defined the post-WWII era. Instead of relying on vast global supply chains, nations are now prioritizing regional cooperation and building alliances that offer greater security and predictability. This shift is not just about economics, it's also about politics, national security, and the desire for more control over critical industries. The U.S. withdrawal from the Trans-Pacific Partnership signaled a broader shift toward protectionism. This move sent a clear message to the world. Even the largest economies are rethinking their roles in global trade and are willing to step back from agreements that no longer align with their national interests. Now, bilateral and regional trade pacts are proliferating, focusing on geographic proximity and shared interests. Countries are negotiating new deals that reflect their unique priorities, whether it's technology, energy, or food security. These agreements are often more flexible and tailored, but they also fragment the global trading system. Companies are increasingly turning to suppliers closer to home, nearshoring and reshoring, to reduce risks from geopolitical instability and trade wars. By shortening their supply chains, businesses hope to avoid costly disruptions and ensure a steady flow of essential materials and products. Shorter supply lines can build resilience, but regionalization often means higher costs and less supplier diversity. Companies must weigh the benefits of security and reliability against the challenges of increased expenses and limited sourcing options. This new landscape brings both opportunities and challenges for businesses. While some may benefit from stronger local networks and faster response times, others may struggle to adapt to the new rules and higher costs. Navigating these changes requires careful strategy and adaptation. Businesses must stay agile, rethink their supply chains, and invest in innovation to thrive in a world where trade patterns are constantly evolving. Nearshoring and reshoring are transforming the way companies think about manufacturing and supply chains. By bringing production closer to home, businesses gain greater control over their operations, which means they can respond more quickly to changes in demand or disruptions in the market. This proximity also helps reduce transportation costs, as goods no longer need to travel across continents or oceans to reach consumers. In today's fast-paced world, being able to deliver products faster and more efficiently is a huge advantage. Industries like fast fashion and electronics, where trends change rapidly and customer expectations are high, benefit immensely from having production facilities closer to their main markets. This allows companies to quickly adapt to new styles or technological advancements and to restock popular items without long delays. It also means that businesses can better manage inventory and reduce the risk of overproduction or stockouts. Closer supplier relationships can lead to improved quality and more transparent communication. When manufacturers and suppliers are located in the same region, it's easier to collaborate, solve problems, and ensure that standards are met. This can result in fewer defects, faster issue resolution, and a stronger partnership overall. At the same time, nearshoring and reshoring help reduce risks like currency fluctuations, political instability, and intellectual property theft. Companies can better protect their innovations and sensitive data, while also avoiding unexpected costs due to exchange rate changes or international trade disputes. However, shifting production to developed countries comes with its own set of challenges. Higher labor costs and significant upfront investments in new facilities or advanced technologies can make it difficult to compete on price, especially against low-cost manufacturing hubs abroad. Companies must carefully weigh these factors before making a move. To encourage this shift, many governments are offering incentives such as tax breaks, grants, and streamlined regulations to attract businesses back home. These policies can help offset some of the higher costs, but long-term success depends on finding the right balance between cost, risk, and the ability to respond quickly to market needs. Companies must thoroughly assess their industry landscape, understand their customers' needs, and align their supply chain strategies with long-term business goals before making such a significant transition. Every industry and company faces unique challenges and opportunities. The decision to nearshore or reshore is complex, involving many variables and trade-offs. There is no universal solution that fits every business, so careful analysis and planning are crucial. Ultimately, strategic planning and a clear understanding of both the risks and rewards are essential for a successful transition to nearshoring or reshoring. Global supply chains, once designed primarily for maximum efficiency and cost savings, are now undergoing a major transformation. The focus is shifting towards building resilience and flexibility, rather than just chasing the lowest costs or fastest delivery times. Recent global events, like the pandemic, geopolitical tensions, and natural disasters, have exposed the vulnerabilities of long, interconnected supply lines that stretch across continents. In response, companies are now investing in multiple regional supply chains that are tailored to the needs of specific markets. This approach reduces dependence on a single global route and helps businesses adapt quickly to local disruptions, regulations, or sudden changes in demand. While this fragmentation of supply chains helps hedge against regional risks, it also introduces new layers of complexity and overhead. Companies must now juggle more suppliers, manage diverse regulations, and coordinate logistics across multiple regions. To manage these dispersed networks, advanced logistics technology and sophisticated data analytics have become essential. Real-time tracking, predictive analytics, and digital dashboards are now at the heart of modern supply chain management. Sourcing from multiple regions can make quality control and ethical sourcing more challenging, as companies must ensure consistent standards and responsible practices across a wider network of partners. Inventory strategies are also evolving. Instead of relying solely on just-in-time delivery, many businesses are now adopting just-in-case models, maintaining larger safety stocks to buffer against unexpected disruptions. These changes inevitably lead to higher costs, but they can significantly improve reliability and reduce the risk of costly shutdowns or shortages. The new supply chain model is undeniably more complex, but it promises a future where businesses are better prepared for uncertainty, potentially marking the beginning of a more robust and adaptable global trade era. Globalization kept prices low for decades, but deglobalization is fueling inflation. Regionalization and reshoring often mean sourcing from higher-cost suppliers, raising input costs for businesses. Fragmented supply chains and larger safety stocks further increase expenses. These costs are passed on to consumers, eroding purchasing power. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed supply chain fragility, accelerating deglobalization and driving up prices. The war in Ukraine has added to these pressures, disrupting energy and commodity markets. As companies adapt, inflationary pressures may persist. The challenge is balancing resilience with affordability. Emerging markets, once global growth engines, now face new challenges in the deglobalization era. Their integration into global supply chains fueled jobs and investment, but shifting trade patterns threaten these gains. Declining foreign investment and reduced export demand could slow growth and increase job losses. Many emerging markets specialize in labor-intensive manufacturing, making them vulnerable as companies regionalize production. New trade agreements may favor developed nations, imposing stricter standards and raising costs for developing countries. The risk is a widening gap between emerging and developed economies. Adapting to this new reality is crucial for future growth. Governments now see supply chain security as national security. The pandemic exposed vulnerabilities, prompting policies to boost domestic production and reduce foreign dependence. Incentives like subsidies and tax breaks are encouraging investment in key sectors. There's increased scrutiny of foreign investments in strategic industries, especially those tied to technology and defense. This protectionist shift can fragment global supply chains and slow innovation. Balancing national interests with global cooperation is the new challenge. Deglobalization's impact on sustainability is mixed. Shorter supply chains can cut emissions and support local economies. Local sourcing may foster a circular economy and reduce waste. But reshoring to countries with weaker environmental standards or dirtier energy can increase pollution. Fragmented supply chains and just-in-case inventories may lead to more energy use and waste. The environmental outcome depends on how companies and countries manage these shifts. Sustainable strategies must be integrated into supply chain decisions. Companies are rethinking strategies to build resilient, agile supply chains in a deglobalizing world. The focus is shifting from pure cost-cutting to balancing cost, risk, and sustainability. Digital technologies like AI and blockchain are enhancing supply chain visibility and responsiveness. Diversifying sourcing, adopting China Plus One or regionalization strategies, helps mitigate risks. Flexible manufacturing and modular designs allow companies to adapt quickly to disruptions. These changes enable faster responses to market shifts and customer needs. Building resilience is now as important as efficiency. Strategic adaptation is key to thriving in this new era. Deglobalization isn't the end of global trade, but a shift toward a more regionalized, complex economy. Companies that embrace agility, resilience, and strategic supply chain management will thrive. Investing in digital tools, diversifying suppliers, and building flexibility are essential steps. The future of global trade is uncertain, but adaptability is crucial. By staying strategic, companies can turn challenges into opportunities. How is your industry adapting to deglobalization? Share your thoughts in the comments below.